in my generation, it was like things became accessible to do because
Right.
of technology.
Yeah.
Like we could throw together little videos. We could like I could do the freestyle videos in my room. We could do the songs and just upload them. I could like do a shitty little mixing garage band myself and just like whatever. So whenever I got anywhere, like an opportunity where someone was trying to like tell me how to do something or tell me about my art, I was really closed off and kind of was like, well, the only reason I even got here in the first place to talk to you is by trusting my own intuition and my own taste and my own vision. So I'm not about to start now like letting you bleed into this thing that I hold sacred. It's kind of like if anything, wasn't collaborative enough, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but I think it's like a generational thing because we almost have to develop all those skills um, to do it on our own in order to achieve any sort of fan base. Whereas I feel like in the past, it probably was like when you get your first shot, it's someone saying like, "All right, we're gonna press some records for you, but here's your A&R, here's your label rep, like here's whatever." Everyone's got their input,
Yeah.
and et cetera, type shit.
Yeah, because when we first met you, we met you through Dante Ross. And I
Yeah,
just saw Dante recently and I was telling him like, yeah, I've been talking to Marlon. And it's deep because, he comes from that time when, when an artist would come along and they had a lot of talent, but they had zero access to anything. So they didn't know, like they would bring in records and be like, I want to rap on this music with these drums. And then the engineer for the session or the A&R, like a lot of times Dante became an A&R or became a producer just by being an A&R in the studio with people and being like, this engineer doesn't know how to do it. I'm going to just figure out how to loop these things up and make this stuff. So when I mentioned that to him, I was talking to you. He's like, this generation came up doing everything themselves, and so on the one hand, he's like, they're all superheroes. You know what I mean? But on the other one, it is harder to get that kind of like that group dynamic thing happening.
it's funny like because it's on both sides of the business. Like now, when you work with an artist or like the role of A&R doesn't even really in isolation. It's like, no, you're supposed to be like A&R and like manager and guide the career and business and this and like, it's like everybody is wearing all of these hats. And that's why I think you don't see a lot of like business relationships that last a long time anymore, really in the game,
Hmm.
especially with like people in my age. And I think part of it is like it's so dynamic and whose role is defined. Like I'm a MC, but I probably spend more time sometimes sending emails and like doing logistical planning and business stuff just because out of necessity.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just such a different thing from the way that it's done now, where it's almost like the kind of like communal division of labor thing that used to happen. In some ways, it's not like that anymore. And there's like really benefits on both sides of it.
No, it's true, man. And to be honest with you, it's like I feel the other side of it a lot. Like uh I feel lonely. Like there's days
Mm.
that like I've been trying to figure out my situation of building out my team. I've been managing myself pretty much ever since that time, and I've just now starting to add people to my team to try to help me and take things off of my plate. And I've realized at times, and I have a few people that help, but I realize that at times that it is about taking things logistically off my plate. But there's also this feeling, man, of being a part of a team.
Yes.
It's like, I come from basketball and that
Yeah.
culture and team culture and winning with a team, sharing your loss with a team when something bad happens or some bullshit and hitting somebody and somebody's like, yeah, man, I'm equally as tight as you because I'm in this with you and we're in this together. That sucks. Or like having a big win and it's like, yo, let's go. And so experiencing the wins and the losses kind of alone, man, it was like it's tough. And I envy that of like there's so much I'm lucky about to be able to build the career I've built in my era and have the control over it that I do. But I definitely envy that more like guys from your era and back even further Dante's era of like that camaraderie. Yeah, man, I envy that and I wonder like what my generation like is going to be our thing that we create together? What's our community that we create together? There's been pockets, like the whole Beast Coast movement
Yeah.
in the, like and stuff like that. But when does it I'd love to be a part of something like that in a genuine way. So I guess to this is a long rant, but I guess it's kind of a long echo of that point that the independence and the superhero thing, it's like it's not by choice necessarily. Like I'm not into it like some guys like where it's like, yeah, I'm like the entrepreneurialism of it all is so like I do I'm the CEO. I'm like, it's like, nah, I wish I had more teammates, man. I really do. I really do.